Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone, to In Time. My name is Nicholas Lamar Suter. Thank you for joining us. It's interesting. The war in Ukraine is now a year old, and a year ago we had so much that we wanted to talk about. We were fresh off of covering COVID for well over a year, and those of you who were there for that time remember covering what was happening in the hospitals, covering Italy, covering countries that were suffering through the greatest crisis in a generation. And it's unfortunate to have to go off of something like that to something like Ukraine. Now, Ukraine is not a crisis for the average American or for most people in Europe in the traditional sense. We don't feel like we're directly affected by it, but on In Time we've been covering it significantly for two very good reasons. The first is nobody on In Time can abide a bully, and what Putin is doing is irreprehensible and has to be talked about and has to be discussed and has to be seen in the the disinfectant of the open light of day. And two, because I don't think it's just going to be Ukraine. I don't think it's just Ukraine right now, and I don't think it's going to stay Ukraine. And every metric that we've seen as to how and why Putin's doing this involves other countries, whether it involves half of Europe or just the former Soviet satellite republics. It involves a great many more people, and it's something that I think needs to be discussed. So we've had on Operator Starsky quite regularly to discuss it, and we've been blessed to have him on. But one of the things that we've been thinking about is foreign fighters, and we've discussed them somewhat with Starsky. I brought that up to him last Friday, and he had a lot to say. He had met a number of them, and he liked the people that he met. They have a unique and difficult status. They aren't members of the Ukrainian army per se. They come from every country on the planet, and they come to fight in a war that isn't theirs, and often to die in that war. So today we have brought with us a man. He started a charity to create a memorial for these people who come and fight in a war that ostensibly is not there. We're going to talk to him about his experience with these people, his experience volunteering in Ukraine himself, going there and training people, what he has seen while he has been there, why he does this, and why the foreign fighters go and fight and oftentimes die on behalf of another country. We're also going to talk about his memorial, why he thinks it's important, and what it is that he hopes to accomplish with it. So without further ado, please welcome Marce. Marce, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, everybody. Sir, thank you so much for your invitation and to give us a light to speak not only about what is going on, but also to this mission I have, that is to pull up a memorial to the international volunteers. Thank you so much for the invitation.
It is a genuine honor to be able to do so. So thank you. Let's talk a little bit about yourself, Marce. Let's start with the obvious. Where were you born, and what did you aspire to do as a child?
I'm born in Portugal. I'm a Portuguese Argentinian man, almost 58 years old, and on the younger ages I wanted to be a doctor, but for sports reasons I went to sports, and actually I become an instructor, a trainer, almost all my life. And the reason for that, there was my military instructors that changed my brain from doctor to instructor. And so That's what I'm doing for the past, in April, 35 years. So what I do is helping men and women to develop themselves over psychological and physical training.
What interested you in, I mean, going from sports to going to doing this kind of training for military purposes?
Actually, for the people that are aware about what's going on the Army way, I can put some other areas from these past years, long years, as I have to say, teaching trainers in 24 countries, and what I thought is that I can bring other areas of knowledge to the training, so it can help and not being so conservative what concerns the military area, but opens for different areas. And for example, for the past years, and I believe 4 to 5 years, the mindfulness area and meditation area, it's also part, not only helping militaries with the psychological problems, but for the general military population. And that's an area that is also a tool that can improve what is going on the field.
Did you have much chance to practice this before Ukraine?
Oh yes. And actually everything, and I can speak about that. Actually, I was like dreaming to go to Ukraine, to have somehow an experience in doing the interaction with international volunteers, because people arrive there and they behave like they are on their own regiments, and this is a lifetime experience, because you receive people from all over the world, literally all over the world, and they arrive looking like lost, without an anchor, without interaction, activity, and so it's like they are by themselves, and it was needed to very fast to put that people together, changing names, eating together, changing a hug, speaking with themselves, no matter if they are from Colombia, from the United States, from France, from Japan, and even if the most of them, they could not speak the English language. So I was, just before I went there, I was already ready to do this type of activities, and by luck, and totally by luck, I get that position. And my boss, British gentleman that put me in the Legion, he asked me some questions like you're doing, and by an accident, totally an accident, by a telephone call from Ukrainian Army captain, I was involved with his first activity to put the international volunteers together and start to be a group instead of individuals.
We have a super chat 50 Danish krone. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to save all of those till later. We will read all of them. We will go through them. I'm going to save them for later. I did not mention this earlier, but every super chat, we will be donating the entirety of all of the income from the super chats of this show. We will be donating to Marce's charity. You can also find a link to that charity down at the bottom. So super chats will be going to the charity today. Anybody who wishes to donate through that, or to donate just by going and following that link. But we will discuss all of that when we get to the end. So at some point you had decided that you wanted to go to Ukraine. What inspired you to go?
Suffering, human suffering. And not just me, but as I could speak with most of the guys there, the international volunteers, the first approach, and it was a question on the how to say, they had to fill a questionnaire when they arrived there, and that was one of the questions. And so the important thing for us was, we're looking at like a European country being invaded that is totally new on the 21st century. And we saw in the television, on the news, ladies, mothers with children and older people totally lost crossing the border, especially in Medica, the most famous one, the border with Poland. And so the first compulsion was totally not, that was not, I spoke a lot for the past months about this, not public. This is the third time I'm speaking in public, but it was like not a romantic feeling or approach, but a sense of totally emotional way of behave. So no rationalism involved, but totally emotion. And so it was the heart. The first thing for most, I do believe 80 to 90% of the international volunteers, they went there with love on the hearts and ready to do whatever it takes to help Ukrainians.
Did you consider trying to encourage anyone to join you, or was this something you decided you were just going to do by yourself? And what did your family and friends think about this?
Okay, that is a great question. I hope I don't get emotional today. Sometimes, just sometimes, and I'm a few days to return to Ukraine, so emotions are a little bit high. The thing, I mean, it was like it was not fair to invite someone to come with me. And also my type of behavior from all my life, it was, if I have to do something, I will do it. If someone knows that I'm going, he should tell me something. Hey, can I go with you? Because I'm going to make this public. So now my friends know that I'm going. I'm not going to push or invite no one. I go. You're welcome to come if you want. So if you want, just ask, can I go with you? But I left alone. So I drove with my van with 700 plus kilos of medical supply and food for children from 1 to 3 years old. And I drove 3.3 thousand kilometers from my hometown to the border in Ukraine, and by myself. And then I knew it. I'm going to see my new brothers. I'm going to meet my new brothers in life there, and that's what was happened. My family know me. I go. Probably for some, it's like a selfish behavior, but you can see, sir, as I said, I'm close to 58. In 2 years, I'm 60 if I arrive there. And how many more years I'm active, in good shape, mental and physical way, to do something. And this is so huge. This is, if I can use the word, and it seems like the people outside Ukraine are not understanding what is going on. This is so apocalyptical that I'm not waiting for medals, for sure. I'm not waiting for a memorial in my hometown. I'm not waiting for claps. I just want to help brothers that are there, brothers that now are brothers for life. And I just want to help those poor people the best I can.
When you first crossed into Ukraine, what was it like? What did you see, and where did you go?
It took me 3 days to arrive. I stopped on the way, sleeping, sitting on my van, because I could not. I didn't have the space to stretch myself and sleep, so it was like sitting. And I arrived at the Medica border that all the international volunteers know. There was the tent for the legionnaires from the Ukrainian army, and so everybody knows Medica, the border, and Yavoriv, 20 km from the border. And I arrived there late in the day, and I knew that I could not drive in Ukraine between 10 and 6. 10 in the night or in the evening and 6 in the morning. So I stayed there to feel what I used to see in the television until the week before. And so I spent like 1 or 2 hours around, taking some pictures, filling all the televisions, trying to interview the Ukrainians, the ladies, most of them, that cross the border, all that fair, that those stands from all over the world. I saw people from China, from Taiwan, from England, from Brazil, from United States. It was like a huge fair of volunteers, all of them trying to give foods or clothes or toys to the kids, food to the dogs and to the cats. And so this was my first approach to the war and to Ukraine. So I went to sleep, sitting again. Next day in the morning, I woke up. I made again a tour just to see, like it was like 15 minutes. I took a coffee and I went inside of Ukraine. The other side of the border.
So you did cut out there for a second, but you're back. It was very brief, so good. So once you were there, where did you start going, and did you meet any people that affected your perspective on this while you were going through Ukraine?
Okay, the first thing I'm very grateful. Don't know to who, that I've been a very lucky person in life. And so I was prepared to do something that was what I did first, but actually I had no plan. So I went to Ukraine straight to Lviv, to the military hospital in Lviv, to leave the medical supplies. And I lost my timing of the week, and I went inside Ukraine on a Sunday. So I arrived on the Sunday in the hospital, and this huge soldier, no English spoken, and I could not speak also Ukrainian, but with an app on the cell phone, we could communicate some. And he told me, listen, today is Sunday, and the people that should receive the donations, they are not here. So you have to come tomorrow. What happened is that the plug on my car that charged the cell phone was broken. He was not working, and I could not charge my cell phone, so I ran out of GPS. So now I'm in the middle of Lviv, that is a big town, and no cell phone, no GPS, and what am I going to do now? With a car full of supplies, don't know the city, just arrived in Ukraine. And so I start to move on the streets. I start to move west towards the light, towards the sun that was moving down. And gas station that the names are OKO, that are the biggest gas stations in Ukraine. And it was coming late, and I said, I'm not going to move, and I'm going to see if I can charge my cell phone inside. So I did it, and I spent the night on the gas station. And actually on the gas station, I met the most beautiful angels on my life. And I swear per God that the first thing I'm going to do next week when I arrive there again, it's trying to go to the same gas station and try to meet these young 12 years old boys, big friends, and they were living in the gas station, both of them. So what they're doing, they had no fathers. The mothers were working, and so they live in the gas station, they clean the shields of the cars, and they're asking for something to the drivers. And after a while, they start to get confidence with me, and they ask me in Ukrainian, and it was over gestual speaking, and I understood that they want something. So I went inside with them, and one of them asked me for an iced tea, and the other one for a water of bottle. And this was the first time that I felt something different, something special, and something really bad is going on here. For two kids, 12 years old, living in a gas station, sleeping there inside, and with so many chocolates inside the gas station, chocolates, cakes, hot dogs, Coca-Cola, and they asked me for an iced tea and a water, and a bottle of water. And that was something that until today, it really touched my heart. So I'm going to meet them in a few days. I really hope I can meet these two warriors again and give something to them. So after that, I decide I'm not going back to the hospital. My telephone was charged. I have GPS, so I'm going to 𝐍𝐤𝐜𝐿. 𝐍𝐤𝐜𝐿, as everybody knows, in March, at the same day, President Biden made a speech in Poland, in 𝐒𝐨𝐤𝐚𝐬. It's about 60 km from the border in Medyka. It's a huge regiment and airports. I think he's going there again in 3 or 4 days. He's going to be there at the same time, at the same spot again. And I'm going to 𝐍𝐤𝐜𝐿, to the big regiments, that is the biggest in Europe. I'm going to deliver the medical stuff there. I'm not going back to the hospital. And if you ask me why you did this, I say, I don't know. I don't know. I go to 𝐍𝐤𝐜𝐿. I go to the big regiment. So on the way, 𝐍𝐤𝐜𝐿 is a small village, and 10 km north of 𝐍𝐤𝐜𝐿 is the big regiment, and it's like almost off-road. And I was not sure about where was the regiment, and I saw on my left side a roadblock, like those militia, territorial defense, Ukrainians. And I said, I'm going to stop here and ask the people. Maybe someone can tell me or speak in English or whatever. And so I stopped on the roadblock. It was like 6 to 7 or between 6 or 8 men. AKs on the hands, ugly faces to me. What's going on with this guy? I said, well, acting natural, out of the car, hands up, good evening, how are you guys? Speak English, please. And here comes this big boy, young big boy, Andrei. I spoke with him last week. I'm going to meet him now. And Andrei, it was like an angel to me. So that's why I'm telling you that I had so much luck in my life in all aspects, and I don't know who's responsible for this. And I met this angel, Andrei, and said, come with me, speak English very well, come with me, blah, blah, blah. He gave the AK to another guy, and come with me, and we go to regiment. So we went there, and to the entry, and 1 week before, at the same time Biden was making a speech in Poland, in 𝐒𝐨𝐤𝐚𝐬, Putin sent 30 missiles there, 26 hit, and it was a mess. 26 missiles in such a small area. It was frightening. A lot of volunteers, international volunteers, die, and as so Ukrainian brothers. And we stopped on the front, on the entry, and we took a picture. That is the main picture that is on our donations website. It's myself, Andrei, and 2 of the Ukrainian brothers. And he was speaking all over Ukrainian with the guys. And so because of the incident with the missiles, the commander there said, no one comes in and nothing can come in. So you have to go. So, well, it seems no one wants my medical stuff. So he made some calls, and happened that it's a small regiment in the village, in 𝐍𝐤𝐜𝐿, that also works as a recruitment center for the Ukrainians. And so he made some phone calls, and he told me, you go there, you speak with this captain, and they're waiting for you, and they want the medical stuff. So I drove 10 km down. I went to this military facility. I went to the medical area. I left with the sergeant there, all the medical stuff. And then the captain asked me, oh, so what's going on? What do you want to do? I said, well, I'm here to help. I show you, I have two ends. I want to help. And he asked me, what do you want to do? I said, who needs me? And I don't forget, he asked me, you want Caritas, Red Cross, Legion? I said, I don't care. Just ask the people. There's a man healthy here, mentally and physical, okay? And so wherever they need me, I'm almost like I'm 57 now, and he made some calls. The tenant, his right arm, took me to the mess to take some cookies and tea. Very rough facilities, I have to say. Already felt the difficulties there. Not fancy facility. So after a couple of hours, he comes to me and say, there comes some people to pick you up. So, well, here we go. Where? I don't know. Now I'm going to join some group or some organization or whatever. And here I go. And he came, this British gentleman and Ukrainian one with their own car, and said, listen, I have this food for children, 1 to 3 years old, and I want to deliver. I said, come with me, we go to the hospital. So we went there. The doctor was very grateful for the foods. And then he said, now you follow us. We go to another place. When we arrived to this place, outside of the car already, the British that later came to be my boss, he told me, you stay here for tonight, but the conditions are not good at all. But tomorrow morning, someone is going to pick you up and take you to a better facility. And I told him, listen, I'm from the woods. I mean, I sleep everywhere. I can eat everything. So I'm here. This is a war. I'm ready. No problem at all. And I went to this facility, full of guys from different parts of the world. And it came to my brain what I was like on a dream preparing. And I feel that's it. That's a bunch of people totally lost. 2 Japanese, 3 British, 1 American, 4 Colombians, 2 Spanish. So, well, these people, they are lost. I stayed there, slept on the floor, ate not good at all. It was not gourmet, and no bathroom, a hall outside of the facility, literally a hall, and no showers. And so here I am for this night. I mean, don't complain. Now I'm going to be part of a group. And my boss asked me, what do you do? What do you want to do? Blah, blah, blah. I said, well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Blah, blah, blah. I said, can you do something to the guys here? So yeah, no problem. But you give me a watch that I don't have. 5 minutes, I go outside and I smoke a cigarette. And in 5 minutes, I'm ready. It's okay for you? So, no problem. So he gave me his watch. I went outside, smoked a cigarette, put my brain I'm going to do this. Just start to arrange the program for 30 minutes. I went inside and I did the first interaction activity, speaking and also with some exercises to the boys. And after that, my big brother TJ, that is joining me now to go to Ukraine again, and my boss, I say, man, that is what we need. We are not going to leave you because we're going to need a lot of what you're doing. So I stayed there, and what I did was training the stuff, most of the time 30 minutes HIIT, high interval intensive training, and doing interactions to the boys. This is from watching Medica, the border in the television, and start my first interaction instructor activity. That's it. My first day, actually, sir.
So it sounds like you met. I mean, it's a war zone, so everyone's going to be busy. And while I'm sure they appreciate volunteers, they may not always know how and where to put them right away. But it sounds like you got situated. Did you meet a lot of foreign fighters, and what was your impression of them?
Yeah, well, there's something that I kindly ask to all your viewers, your fans. Don't know how to say, but your viewers, your fans, people that follows you, and they are in the alive now, or some of them, or a lot of them that are going to see after the recorded. I humble ask everyone to not judge. Analyzing takes study and competence. And most of the people, they don't study, they don't use what they study as a tool. And what the most humans do is judging. I have to tell you, sir, I saw two sides. One of the sides was the heart. I saw hearts everywhere. I saw amazing human beings everywhere. On the other side, those hearts, human beings, some of them, they had no clue what is a war zone. They went there totally crazy about maybe showing the friends or the family or the wives that they are brave and courageous. Some of them, I mean, most of them, they want to do the right thing on the right side. But some of them, they go with political feelings, like I'm going to do as a right-wing politic thing, but most of them, they went here to help. And then you can say, like some other brothers already spoke about it, about the wannabes, about the Rambos. In some way, it makes us laugh, because for me, it's, if I can use this expression, it's cute. It's cute. It's cute. It's very very children behave, but it's cute. I mean, it feels like put the hand on the cheek and say, "Hello, you beautiful, brave warrior." But those are very small part, because most of them, I mean, 90%, I want to believe 90%, they went there with a very sense of helping those poor people that, like President Zelensky said on the February 27, we need help from the world. So you could see everything. But as I said, and the sentence I use every time I had to start an activity, I used to use this sentence: you guys are the best of human beings produce in this planet. And that's what I believe. Those guys are the best human beings for the courage, for leaving the families, leaving the wives, the mothers, fathers, jobs, countries, houses. They left everything. They pay the tickets, the travelings. I mean, the first time I went there, I spent more than 4,000 euros. My brother Nick from Sweden, we spoke like 3 weeks ago. Now it's come a time, I believe 3 weeks ago, he went back to Sweden, and he told me, man, you spent 4, I spent more than 5,000. So there's two men, a Swedish and a Portuguese, that only these two spend more than 9,000 euros to go to Ukraine to help. And so those international volunteers deserves from myself and from the world a stand-up ovation, 1 hour stand-up ovation, if I can say it.
There has been confusion on this issue, and I wanted to clarify, and people who watch us regularly already have the answer to this, but the confusion has been, of course, why are they paying their own way? Wouldn't Ukraine help? And the answer is because if Ukraine assists them in coming in any way whatsoever, that could be seen as using mercenaries, which A, has complications with the Geneva Conventions, and B, means that they are not protected if they are captured by Russians. Mercenaries don't receive the same protections as a soldier who has laid down his arms. Having said that, Russia has decided that it will view all foreign soldiers as mercenaries and treat them as such. Ukraine is obviously aware of this, but first of all, this is why anybody who wants to go has to spend their own money and basically get their own way without assistance from the government. What is Ukraine? Ukraine's obviously aware of this. What are they doing to try to assist foreign fighters who are aiding Ukraine, assist them in this very difficult and awkward position where the foreigners actually have fewer protections than Ukrainian soldiers do in this war?
That's an excellent question, sir. As you can understand, when President Zelensky asked, if you want to come to Ukraine to help, you're more than welcome, or please come and help, he just starts a mess without knowing. I do not believe that President Zelensky realized without preparing this how much mess he was going to cause inside the Ukrainian army. So if you ask me if it was impulsive from President Zelensky, maybe analyzing, not judging, but still, first, anyone can come, anyone can arrive and be very welcome on his own expenses, and you can help. And so in the beginning it was, you have to be 60 years old, at least till 60 years old, no military experience, no combat experience. And it was like a week to week to week to week. And I get that information. Then it was to 55, then it was to 50, then it was to 48, then it was to 45. And then you don't need to have a combat experience. You don't need to have military experience. But now you have to be 45 with military, with no combat. But now you have to be 40 and combat experience. So it was like from one week to the other, and weeks passing, it was now is this, now is this, now is this. And it seems like was what I was telling you, sir, that in some way they start to organize the international volunteers after the invitation, and they should first preparing, organizing something, and then make the invitation. On the top of that, a lot of international volunteers that could help a lot Ukraine, they went away in March and April. A lot of them went away. Why? It was messy, the organization, ammunition very, very low, and some here and there, some issues with the Ukrainian brothers. As you can understand, you arrive there. If you need my help and you ask for my help, I came here with a sense of superiority that I'm better than you, so I'm going to teach you because you don't know. That's why President Zelensky asked us or invite us to come. And you cannot go to other people's houses with a wrong behavior. And I spent 3.5 years in Austria, 3.5 years in Germany in the past, 20 years ago. And I mean, it doesn't cross my mind to go to somebody's house and analyzing. Respectful. I have to be respectful and trying to understand what is going on. And it seems like some kind of Rambos arrive there. Here I come, here I am, and shut up. I'm the one that comes from here, from there, and I'm a commando and special force, blah, blah, blah. And there was some issues, of course, also with the lack of ammunitions also. That was, but on the other way, that is saying, I don't consider myself a mercenary, but still, for Mr. Putin, I'm a mercenary because I'm from other country and I go there to help. After almost this year, I can have Ukrainian passport, like so many mercenaries have now, but still Mr. Putin doesn't care. If got me there, Marce, you're from Portugal, why you have a Ukrainian passport? Come here. show me your nails. Now show me your teeth, your eyeballs. Are you getting your protocol, mercenary protocol? And that's it. Sir, but I have Ukrainian passport, so I'm Ukrainian. Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And we've unfortunately seen that. So you're helping to try to prepare these soldiers to act as a unit and to operate together. And these are soldiers who are you're learning about and you're learning to interact with. And I have to believe the kind of work that you do means that you're going to try to make a connection with them and try to engage with them more than just, I'm the boss and I'm telling you this is how things are done. So at some point you must have started to take casualties. Were people that you had met and worked with lost during your time in Ukraine?
I was not ready for a war in Europe. I was not ready for this sort of apocalyptic war that is going on, so ugly, frightening. And I don't have children. I have a dog. And in some way, in this time of my life, I kept learning that we are never too old to learn. And I'm getting one of the biggest lessons of my life. And because I don't have children, I start to get involved with the younger ones. And there are two. I mean, there are more, but there are two young, brave warriors. One, 24 years old, warrior and brother Olma Medina from Colombia. He died. And until today, I cannot forget that corporal from Colombian army. It was very special, this young man. It was very tough. And I'm going to carry him. And there's another one, Saint, code name. 21, he arrived 21 years old from Canada. He was my nurse. And we spoke yesterday in the morning. He's waiting for me. Saint left Canada as a nurse to help Ukraine. He's there now for the past 11 months. 11 months. He is in Donbass now. How brave you can be with 21 years old to drive, not to flight from Canada to Eastern Europe, paying your expenses, to be a nurse, to save Ukrainians and international volunteers. This is so bigger than anything I did in my life. And so it's not easy, but then there's the bright way, the beautiful way that I met beautiful people. And I have to speak about TJ, US Marine, that is my brother, that is going to enter in Ukraine again with myself. We're going to drive together. And Major from Denmark, he's there since the first week of January again. He just went to Denmark for Christmas and he's there again. And then we have Tomáš and Petr from my beautiful Czech unit. I spend a lot of time with these people, Tomáš, Petr, Vlada, and Martin. Those four men are, and Tomáš, Petr. Tomáš have a 2-year-old son. He's young. Petr is 43, I do believe, and 3 kids. And they are there now for the past 11 months. And then we have one that was on the same unit as Olman Medina, with Rajo that went to hospital last week. And then we have Franz from the United States, Joe from the United States, Flatcap from England. And they are there for 10, 11 months now. So these people are, we have to define on dictionaries a new definition, a new word to define on this kind of people, because this is not Second World War, this is not ISIS, this is not Mali or Somalia, this is Russia against Europe, and they came from all over the world, paying living families to help Ukraine, And if you allow me, sir, I spoke with some names because they're so important. These people are so important in my life. And I have to share some names. Patrick from the United States, dead. 𝐍𝐢𝐜𝐜𝐿, 52 years old, United States, dead. Hildebrand from Canada, dead. Then we have Gatley, Paracho, Joshua Allen Jones. There are so many already dead from outside of Ukraine. And you cannot imagine the suffering of the families. It's huge. Danish, or Mr. Danish, Patrick's father, Fran Fauci, wife of Brother 𝐍𝐢𝐜𝐜𝐿, Carissa, the wife of our brother Hildebrand, Mr. Dean, father of Gatley, Claudia, the wife of Paracho. This is so different, so huge. The suffering, the will to go, the leave the families, to pay and go, and the suffering of the families now. This is, I wish so much people outside Ukraine could stop to complain, to start, That is a dream. From now on, I'm going to stop to complain. It's too much cold. It's too much. It's too much hot today. The food is not good. I mean, we complain 100 times a day, and at least these boys, these men, these warriors, these brothers, they are teaching us a lesson. They are teaching us a lesson. Has to be. That's why I'm so stuck in my mission to build a memorial for them, sir.
Well, and you've also been notifying the families in many cases of the loss, and I have to believe that that has its own mental toll on you, and that, you know, every time that you're going to have to notify a family. So what, if you don't mind my asking, what has that been like?
Well, what I can tell you is, again, I'm putting my money on the front, and with the company, I believe that it's like this. I get in contact with a company here in Portugal, and I'm buying those medallions. The first approach was, if somebody is kind enough to give us 100 euros or $100 donation, I mean, from $100 up, we send to their home this medallion. But then there's the families. And I start to send also, speaking with them and sending the medallions to the families. And everything is paying by my money. Until now, the donations, they are stopped in an account on the bank, and it's to build the memorial. And Mr. I have here, I hope this can happen, because I'm going to meet Mr. Danish Patridge, the father of our brother Patridge, and Mr. Dean Gattley, the father of our brother Gattley. I'm going to meet them in Ukraine. So for us and for the team that I'm part of, people like Bauer, Charlie, Nemesis, and Sunshine, we are all working for free. All of us are working for free. For me, special is my mission. I putting like on my sports team everything that concerns my sports events, and so I can be 100% focused on the memorial. But still, what is important for me now is meeting the families. I change a lot of messages with them. They are suffering. I don't want to be intruder on the suffering. I'm here to do what I can do, and what I can do as soon as I arrive in Ukraine is starting everything what concerns putting a memorial for the international volunteers for a million reasons, but for the most important one.
Let me interrupt for 1 second. So since we're discussing that right now, what I'd like to do is remind people that all super chats are going to be donated in their entirety to Marce and that memorial. So we've already had 2. Those will be going. Anyone who continues to super chat at this point, it will go there. We have links to his Facebook page where he describes this, and also has a number of the names that he's already mentioned. I recognized them from that list. So you can go there and you can learn more about it if you choose. And if you wish to super chat, we will be donating those as well. So he is describing the memorial that we have. Well, I will let you finish describing it. So why don't you please finish, sir?
Okay, so the dream is like in the medallion. The dream is there's a soldier. There's a soldier there, and he had the gun pointing the sky, and on the top of the gun, he have the sunflower. That is the main flower for Ukraine, and on the center of the sunflower, there's the globe that represents the internationals. So that statue, that's a bronze statue, that is my dream, that I can have like sponsoring from a company or from what I can. That is my dream. But because now we don't have the money to pay the bronze statue, what I'm going to speak with the mayor of the city, it's just to put there a big rock that, for me, believes that stands for "We are here, international volunteers," with a plaque. And that I can pay for that. And there's not an issue. But also then, we have gasoline, we have to pick up. Now I'm going to get I receive a huge donation on military material. It's on the center of Europe. So I have to drive 4 times to pick up all the material. We need a big van and then gas. I'm putting my money for gas also. So what I can pay, that's not a issue for me, but it could be easy if we could, outside of Ukraine, have a sense of we need to help, we need to do something. Now we put it this running or walking event to celebrate the first year for the international volunteers, that they are also on our Facebook, and people can subscribe, and on the 25th they go with friends outside of the house making a 5Ks walking or running, and the subscription, that is 15 euros, goes to the donations to the memorial. So I'm not going to rest until I build a memorial for international volunteers in Ukraine. And at the same time, I'm going to be there, not spending holidays, because no one at this time goes to Ukraine for holidays. I'm going to be there helping Ukraine like the first time, and doing again my best that I can.
So we have a couple of super chats here that I wanted to get to. 𝐍𝐢𝐜𝐴T𝐴, who has super chatted before, which we really appreciate, 50 Danish krone for Marce and his work. So thank you for that. We really appreciate it. We also have Lisa, $10 US. Bless you, Marce, and with a flag, a Ukrainian and US flag. And I was going to ask you this question, which was, who are the fiercest international fighters that you've seen? But I already know the answer. It's Americans. You don't have to. I know it's Americans. It's Americans, right? It's Americans. I know it's Americans. Americans are the fiercest. Then we have 500. We have 500 Danish krone from More Mule. So thank you very much for that. And yeah, it's been there have been some very difficult stories. We were talking about, because this is actually our third time speaking, but we'd spoken about a number of the volunteers, one in the U.S. that made national headlines here, where he had decided he felt compelled to go, and he told his wife while she was on her way out the door to go to vacation, and she said absolutely not. She refused and said, we'll talk about it when you get back. And what she didn't know is that he had left while she was gone, and he was there for 8 months before being killed. But the last conversation she ever had with him was to say that he couldn't go, but that she, should discuss it with him and wanted to see why this was so important. And she never got to finish that conversation. 𝐍𝐢𝐜𝐜𝐡𝐨𝐥𝐚𝐬, 5, I think, I want to say that's Canadian. I think that's Canadian. I've got to memorize these. I know. I keep messing it up. I apologize. Thank you very much for your support. So you'll be going back in a couple days. Now you had to leave for medical reasons, and to the best of my understanding, you've now made essentially a full recovery, and so as soon as you could and were able, you are now returning. How long do you plan on staying?
Yes, sir. If you allow me, I want to send a huge hug for everybody in the room and for the donations also. And most of the time, people don't understand. They don't have to understand, but how important is to say thank you and to show gratitude for the people that don't know me, don't know my organization, and still they help. And it's very brave, like the international volunteers. They went there to help people that they don't know. And for me, this is absolutely huge. So thank you so much for the people that are here in the room and give us a donation. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm delighted and pleased that people have felt interested in helping. We've also gotten another $9.99 from Michelle Ferguson, $9.99 US for you, Marce. So thank you for that. So how long do you plan on staying? Are you going to stay as long as the war is there, or as long as you're able? And let me ask you, actually, I suppose, one more question, which is, when this war ends, God willing, and you come out on the other side, do you think you'll stay?
Well, sir,
I ask really hard questions. I'm aware that is deliberate.
I really, it's so interesting, the questions you ask, and they are so strong that I had to stop. I mean, for the first one, I'm going with the wind. So I know that I'm going. I know in my heart I'm doing the right thing, and so I'm going. If I stay there, I don't know. If I come back after a month, I don't know. If I come back next year, I don't know. I don't have, what I want to say is, I don't have a plan to come. I have a plan to go. And the thing is, you touch an issue. I came out with a problem that doctors believe it was because of the water that I was drinking. And two things, I was getting fever and also blood on my feces. And I start to get very weak, losing weight, not feel like eating. And it was like in 1 week, I start to get lower on my energy and upper with my temperature. And so I decided to go to the Doctors Without Frontiers at the Medica border. And they told me it was a French and an Israeli doctor that saw me say, listen, and they have experience like no one's what concerns wars. And they told me, listen, this is E. coli or hepatitis A. You have to go to the hospital. I told them, listen, can I drive to Portugal? I don't want to go to a Polish hospital, because if I'm going to die, I want to die in my country. I want to die in Poland. I mean, Ukraine is one thing, Poland is another one. And they put me, I don't know how to say, those balloon things on my vein.
Oh, the IV.
Yeah.
The bag with the liquid, IV.
Yes. And they gave me medicines. So after hours, I went by car. It took me 5 days to arrive in Portugal, and I went to the hospital here. And so 3 weeks ago, I had the last appointment with my doctor, with the last blood tests, and the problem my doctor told me is that I could get sequels on my liver. And 3 weeks ago, I went to the doctor, to Dr. Pedro, and hey, he was happy. He okay. There's no sequels on your liver, so there's no problem. And I said, well, I had already my plan to, in the end of January, beginning of February, to go back to Ukraine. Now I can rest and I can be stronger, because I'm going without any type of disease or sequels on the liver or pancreas or whatever it is. So I'm going with the wind like the first time. I'm going to, now I have friends there, I have brothers. First time I had nobody. And the first thing I'm going to do is to visit or try to get these two boys on the gas station in Lviv. So I'm going to straight to Lviv with my brother TJ, that arrives in 3 days. He arrives in Portugal, and we're going to drive in Europe to get the material from our donors, the military material, and then straight to Lviv to try to find these two little kids, these two beautiful kids, and to give them something, or food in supermarket, whatever.
The only thought I could think is, and I'm not sure, I'm kind of thinking I shouldn't say it. Yeah, whatever you do, don't get caught. Let's just put it that way. Don't get caught. So we are expecting from you, sir, updates while you are there, and I'll reach out and say hello every now and then, and I know our audience is going to want to know, and it will I will post updates on our Discord as to how you're doing and how this project is going. So we would like to hear from you, and we hope you would be willing to come back and tell us more about how your second trip goes when you have time, which I imagine won't be for quite some time going forward. Unfortunately, I think you're going to be a busy individual.
So that is very kind of you to give me time in your show to speak about this experience, this first one. I'm more than happy, and if I can say, it's an honor for you. I'm sorry, get emotional now. It's an honor for me to come back and to directly from Ukraine, I don't know where, but over internet, to speak with you and with your audience. But most of all, I want to show my gratitude in the name of our team and myself, to all the people that follows you, that are in the show tonight, and your kindness. It's an honor for me, and thank you so much for you, sir.
Our pleasure. And we had technical difficulties, as you know, on one of our recordings of this, so we appreciate you working with us and coming back again. So we will, as I said to the audience, we will be letting you guys know as we know, and we're going to be following this. The links to his charity is in the description, and we've already had a number of super chats. Those will be going in full to the charity as well, and we'll let you guys know. I'm always on that Discord as well, so come on in, and if you guys ask and I can find out what's going on with him, I will find out. In the meantime, please have a safe several journeys there, and take care, and good luck with your work there. It is absolutely needed. It's very important, and we wish you and those that you are helping all of the best, because they really need it.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
We will be having Operator Starsky on Friday. We're looking to see if we can do a couple of interesting things with Macmillan, but we're gonna have to have a chance to sit down and touch base with him. But Operator Starsky will be the Ukrainian National Guardsman, will be speaking with us live from Ukraine on Friday to discuss what's been going on in the week. And until then, we look forward to seeing you, and have a pleasant and safe evening. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.